You're watching Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. The Seahawks shook up the NFL and pulled off a highway robbery with the discount deal they put together to bring Connor Williams to Seattle. We will explain what exactly is going on with the Seahawks, what they have in mind for Connor Williams, what his role will be, and how much of a difference he makes to this Seahawks offensive line coming up on today's show. Before we do, all week long, we are in a sub-battle with our Titans channel. We're seeing which of the two channels can gain the most subscribers this week as we are closing in on 54,000 subscribers here on the channel. And we're going to be live doing a watch party coming up this weekend. We want to prove why we have the best fans in the NFL. We don't want to just win on the football field. We want to win off the football field as well. Subscribe now for free. Join the family of 12s today. Be a part of our daily news and rumors here on the channel. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV. Subscribe now, and we'll see you for our watch party coming up on Saturday night. Let's get to know Connor Williams a little bit more. The 2018 second-round pick out of the University of Texas, previously played for the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins. And what are the Seahawks getting? Well, they're getting one of the best of the best. I've said this previously. I'll say it again. I think he's the top 5 center in the NFL, and he's got the grades to back it up. Pro Football Focus gave him the highest grade of all interior linemen in the National Football League last season with an 86.5 overall grade, and that's among guards and centers. And this is somebody that has experience playing both center and guard. Mike Macdonald has already said that he will play center for the Seahawks, as Olu will be the backup center with Laken Tomlinson at left guard, and then you still have a fight going on at that right guard spot. But here's the deal. This is why the Seahawks pulled off a highway robbery here, folks. A player of Connor Williams' talent. I know he's coming off a torn ACL and all, but even with that said, you got one of the best players at his position for only $6 million, and only half of that is guaranteed. There is no risk involved with this move, which is just unbelievable to me. If, for whatever reason, Connor Williams doesn't get healthy and continues to be banged up, all it does is cost you $3 million. This was a steal. And personally, I think that this makes Seattle a threat. Before all this, we were talking about this Seahawks team being a borderline playoff team. I think this situation now, adding Connor Williams into the fold, let's say you were going to be about a 9-8 team, for example, okay, which is what you were the last 2 seasons. Connor Williams, if he's healthy, is at least worth 1 win. That puts you at 10-7. That puts you in the ball game. All right? That changes things completely for the Seahawks team. Mike Macdonald had this to say when it comes to Connor Williams. We have a pretty good plan in place now. He'll be with the sports performance folks for the next week or so until we get him full speed for practice. But we're shooting for either Cleveland week or the week after to get him out here practicing. And the plan for Williams is to be ready for week 1. I know that you'd like to have him practicing and potentially in that Cleveland preseason game. But all eyes are going to be on week 1. And his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, was very adamant when he was being shopped in the free agent market. Connor Williams is healthy. He's ready to go and can play week 1 for whatever team he ultimately ends up signing with. And that hasn't changed since he's come to the Seattle Seahawks. That's still the plan in place. Connor Williams gave an update on his health this week. He said, I feel great. I'm probably about 95%. I'm getting there. Strength's getting there. Pretty symmetrical, honestly. And so I think we're just devising a plan to slowly work back and slowly give me on the field. I think that he meant to say get me on the field, but you get the idea. But Connor Williams, to kind of give you perspective, is a whole lot further along than Abraham Lucas is. We still don't know when Abe Lucas is going to be out there, if he's going to be back in time for the season. We're pretty certain here that Connor Williams is going to be ready to go when this season starts. So, folks, I'm excited about Connor Williams. I can't wait to see what he does. Now let's ask you. I got a question for the folks that we'll get to here in just a second. But a reminder, join us for our watch party coming up on Saturday for the Seahawks matchup with the Tennessee Titans. We'll get things going 3 p.m. Pacific time for our hour-long pregame show. And then we will have the game to follow. We'll react to it in real time. You won't want to miss it live right here on Seahawks Today. Let's ask you this question. Will Connor Williams play for the Seahawks week 1? Y for yes, N for no. Is he going to make it? Are you buying in to what people were talking about here? Do you take everything with a grain of salt? Do you believe it? Is he playing? I think he is. Weigh in, let us know. Now, adding Williams to the mix, let's be clear. It improves the offensive line a lot, but it doesn't solve everything at this point. But it makes you feel a whole lot better about where this group is going. If you look at the Seahawks offensive line right now, the last updated depth charts that we have for you, we're going to put Connor Williams at that starting center spot. The right guard spot is still a competition between Anthony Bradford and Christian Haynes. We'll see who ultimately wins that job. Abraham Lucas, if he's healthy, he's starting at right tackle with George Fant behind him. Laken Tomlinson in there at left guard, Charles Cross at left tackle. We'll see if Charles Cross takes that next step up this year. That remains to be seen. Laken Tomlinson, what version are you getting? Are you getting the version that we saw with the Jets that struggled last year, or are you getting the Pro Bowl guy that we saw in San Francisco in 2021? Anthony Bradford, Christian Haynes, who's going to win that battle, and who's going to play at a high level? Some big question marks still. But here's kind of perspective, folks, as far as the difference that Connor Williams made. Because I know some of you are thinking that you wanted Olu to get his shot. You wanted Olu to be that guy. But let's simmer down for a second. Olu's good to have as a backup, and I'm sure he'll still see the field. Because according to Pro Football Focus last year, the Seahawks had the 29th ranked offensive line in the NFL. Towards the bottom. They were just atrocious last year. And for more perspective on it, here's what Pro Football Focus said on their 29th ranking. Injuries muddy the evaluation of Seattle's offensive line. The regression of Seattle's 2 second-year offensive tackles, Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas, also has to be concerned for Seahawk fans. The Seahawks tied for 4th worst pass block efficiency in the NFL after suffering 229 pressures on 365 pass plays. And then taking that a step further. So if you thought things were bad this year, before the Connor Williams signing, Pro Football Focus rated all the offensive line in the NFL, and they were even worse than what they were at the end of last year. They were the 31st ranked offensive line prior to signing Connor Williams. We haven't seen an updated ranking, but you'd have to imagine that number's going to go up quite a bit. Williams will make a big difference for this Seahawks team. Doesn't solve everything, but you add a top 5 center, one of the best interior linemen in football. Now you're feeling a whole lot better about this situation, and Olu didn't go anywhere. Sure, you moved on from Nick Harris, but, I mean, my goodness, everybody's going to take Connor Williams over Nick Harris. It's not even close. What is your confidence level in the Seahawks offensive line right now? Scale it for me 1 through 10. How you feeling about this group entering 2024? Weigh in and let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Enter promo code Seahawks125 for a 125% deposit bonus on your first deposit. Here's how it works, folks. Let's say that you buy a pizza. And with BetUS, you're getting an entire pizza and then another slice included with that first bet you make on BetUS. Here's the odds for this weekend's game between your Seahawks and the Tennessee Titans. The Titans, slight favorites at 1.5. The over-under at 35.5. Folks, I told you this earlier. I'll say it again. When it comes to betting the preseason, always take the under on the preseason. Under 35.5 is how I think this goes. Get your bets in now. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Seahawks125 for that 125% deposit bonus. Williams is almost ready to go. And the ACL surgery, talking to his doctors and all that, he has progressed much faster than initially thought. The idea about a month ago was that whoever Connor Williams signed with, that he would be available mid-season. Now here we are, and we're talking about him playing week 1. So this is going along very nicely. Connor Williams had this to say on the ACL surgery. obviously Dr. Cooper did a great job, and I followed his progression with it. You're walking without a crutch 2 months out. You're jogging 3 or 4 months out, and then you're slowly ramping up things from there. Mike Macdonald saying this on Connor Williams. I'm excited to see Connor come out here and do his thing. Haven't seen him live yet with us, and I think we have a great plan for him, and we'll see where he's at in a week or so. So I told you that I think that Connor Williams is at least worth 1 win. That much of a difference to this team. And I was already taking the over. I had the Seahawks at 9 wins. The over-under, according to the folks in the desert, is at 7.5 for your Seahawks. Hammer the over, folks. Get ready, get excited. The Seahawks are the team that nobody's talking about, that they should be talking about, that's going to take a big step up here under first-year head coach Mike Macdonald. Predict the Seahawks record this season. How will things go? Now that Connor Williams is a part of the mix, how much of a difference does that make for this Seahawks team? I say 10-7. That's my prediction. What do you guys think? Get your predictions in now. Weigh in and let us know how you think this goes. 10 wins, you're sitting in the postseason. You're sitting at least the 7 seed, maybe the 5 or 6 at that point. Get your predictions in now. Let us know. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today. Make sure to join us for our watch party coming up on Saturday night. We'll begin at 3 p.m. Pacific time with our hour-long pregame show, then dive into the game shortly to follow after that. Seahawks and Titans right here on Seahawks Today. We'll have continuing coverage over the next few days, getting you set for that one with more from joint practices. Also, what's going on with the latest news and rumors on your team. Any breaking news that happens, we got you covered. Subscribe now for free. We'll see you next time.